Hey, what's going on, guys? We're back. Brief intermission from this morning's earlier podcast where we were talking about Wrecking Crew podcast, where we were talking about a bevy of topics. Unfortunately, I had to run an errand really quickly. Wanted to come back and to just wrap up podcast, talking about some of the stuff that we were talking about this morning. Kind of give my thoughts. Hopefully, some of the guys can come in. I do. You know what? I forgot. I have to send the invite because it won't help if I don't send the invite. Ugh, sorry, guys. As you know, the high production value of this channel is always in flux. Hold on one second. I know, hopefully Unlimited can come back in. He said he has some time today to do the show. He was really cooking when I had to close up shop unexpectedly. Um, Dude, Sam, dude, you know what? All this stuff has been messed up, dude. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it has to do with anything that. Oh, here we go. I know Sega Man's been having issues with sending invites to the guys. Uh, Hold on one second. Oh, okay, I see that it's up. Oh, snap, dude. All right, man. Just messed up my foot. Probably won't be able to join. Can't barely walk on it at the moment. Oh my gosh, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah, dude. I messed myself up about a week ago, bro. I fell. I fell in the shower of all places, dude. I got that old man syndrome. Jacked up my leg, cut up my elbow. Had to go to the ER just to check myself, dude. I might probably have to do a follow up with my doctor to check out my leg, dude. My leg's still a bit messed up. Yeah, dude. Now take care of your health, man. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. If the other guys want to jump in, man, I'll be more than happy to send them, shoot them an invite as well. And like I said, it's just a wrap up, dude. We'll touch on some stuff that I was talking about a little bit earlier in the podcast. Um, Hopefully, some of the guys in the chat, because I feel like we didn't get a chance to answer every single person that was in there asking questions. And the chat was on fire, man. Legitimate questions, even some of the negative stuff. Um, I mean, and not all of it was negative. Cygnus, I understand where he's coming from. He has his own perspective, his own point of view. At least he doesn't just troll. King Trash, man. I mean, look, dude. Obviously, you're a PlayStation guy. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not the podcast for you. You're more than welcome to come in here and in the chat and talk about it. Like I said, guys, I have certain people that I leave spaces open for. That's the people I deal with. That's why those guys get first dibs as far as the podcast is concerned. Um, and it's the usual suspects. But then I have some people that the door's open to, man. Some guests that if they want to come in, they can. Send my boy NWO Prime, Google Poll. We did a great podcast. I did a great podcast with him the other weekend. I mean, it's probably one of the longest ones I've ever done. But we talked about a lot of stuff. So I'm not opposed to or at odds with inviting people on my podcast, dude. You can speak your opinion. Like I tell you guys, man, I'm pretty set in my ways. I'm an older guy, pretty set in my ways, dude. A lot of the stuff for me is principled, it's foundational. And a lot of it comes from experience, just where I am in my life. And like I said, I wouldn't mind listening to you, man. But the odds of you changing my mind is nil. I get in debates on social media all the time with a lot of different people. Some people I know, some people I don't know. It doesn't matter to me, like And at the end of the day, dude, if you don't, have the wherewithal to understand that when you're on social media, especially if you're on YouTube or X or even Facebook at times, you know, that's just the way it is. That's the nature of the beast. Man, don't get too caught up on it, dude. Know who you are, know what you believe, know what you stand for. Keep an open mind in some aspects of it, man, but some stuff that you know to be true, right? And both in what you believe and also in what you've experienced, like I just said, you can't replace that, you know. And for the most part, man, look, dude, I don't cancel people. Um, like I said, I don't know King Thrash that well, right? And I say my podcast is all over the place, guys. I know that. I understand that, right? But there is a level, there is a base minimum that I like to keep the podcast out, or podcast at. If I was to do just like a two guys going at it kind of thing, I'd just set that up on a separate video. I know we get lost in the sometimes in the context of what we're talking about, but I like to hear. I respect a lot of the guys that are on my channel, man. I like to hear the perspective, right? So we do run long, and it does go all over the place. But I have no problem with that. I understand some people don't like that, and that can be a problem for the way they like to consume the media. That's perfectly fine with me, dude. I'm all about choice. Pick your poison, however you want to consume this stuff. I know some people they like my perspective, some people do not. But I mean, if you keep on coming back, they respect to you because I know that's hard sometimes. Like, there's a lot of things you could be doing right now. Like, I'll put myself out there. Like right now, I could be playing Path of the Goddess. I just started Dungeons of Hindenburg. Unlimited has a video on his channel if you guys want to check it out. He actually shows his gameplay. I just started it last night. I did like 2 dungeons. That's as far as I got, dude. I was enamored by the world, enamored by the graphics, enamored by the fact that this is a Game Pass game. That's why that narrative of dumpster dive type games or just crappy indie games, stuff that a lot of people hit Xbox on when Game Pass first started, dude. That was never a problem at all from the jump. They might not have had the variety, they might not have had as much games, but they have all of that now in Game Pass. Hey, what's up, Shinzo, brother? Welcome, man. This is the part two of the earlier podcast we had going on. But welcome to the podcast, too. But that's why I don't have a problem with paying more when it comes to Game Pass, the actual cost. And I know that's not everybody, dude. Respect. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, if it boils down to your finances, I totally understand, man. I understand the world we live in now, the economy that occupies that world, and people have to make sacrifices. Um, I made sacrifices on other things, man. I just looked at it and I was like, look, this I enjoy doing this more. That on Netflix, dude. Everything else went to the wayside. Right? Maybe in better economic times, we'll see. Things get better, man. We'll have the ability to have a little bit more options. But as of right now, trust me, guys, I get it. I get it. When I make these videos talking about the hate that Game Pass gets or the price thing, it's on the side of people just complaining to complain, or people that are just hating just to hate. But I understand there's people out there that are making hard choices right now, dude. I'm doing it in my life as well, guys, dude. It's just that Xbox is that one thing I do. That's it, dude. I don't go on vacations. I don't go clubbing. I don't do any of that other stuff people do. My footprint, as far as economics, as far as purchasing power, and buying merchandise and being a consumer on the nth level has gone on the wayside. It's been like that for a long time. Shinzo Elite, man, I'm digging Hinterberg. Yeah, dude, it's an awesome game, dude. When I popped the game on, I shouldn't say popped it in because I don't have the disc, but when I put the game on, and it's just the pop that you have from the get go. The screen pops up and then it just goes right into the title screen. Dude, it's just from that alone, dude, I knew that it was a labor of love. That the guys who are making the game, right, regardless if I like the game or not, which I didn't think I would not like the game. I'm just saying, man, just that alone sold me on the game that this is a labor of love. These guys have been, and total disclosure, I've been following them on social media, um, and I felt that from the jump. So I was more than happy to play the game. Spent like about an hour on it, or a little over an hour, because I did the tutorial. I did a couple of dungeons, which probably sets you up, set your character up. I'm at the point now. I made some relationships with people. It's a very vast and varied game. It breaks genres. I mean, there's definitely a dungeon action RPG element to it, but there's some social stuff in it that you can do too, and then you can get. Looks like you can get lost in the world. I hope so. I hope that's the case. Really love that the thought of doing that, because I can. That's one of the reasons why I don't finish games. I get lost in my games. Yeah, Game Pass is worth a couple more bucks for me. We're all different. Yeah, yeah, Shinzo. I'll be honest with you, Shinzo. This is my personal opinion. I don't think Microsoft wanted to raise the price. I think they wanted to wait till a couple of these games hit, but they were stuck with a choice to make. As I say this on the channel all the time, I reiterate it here for anybody else who comes along and hears this. Everything's going up. The price of everything costs more. I'm pretty sure you guys are feeling it, dude. Even if you go into 7-Eleven and buy a soda, right? Everything's going up by a couple cents, 50 cents, 75 cents. Candy bars where I live went up by $1.25. Right? It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So Microsoft, this is something that I think you have a roadmap, you have a game plan, and this is something that kind of intruded in on that, right? And we see how it works, man. I would like Game Pass. I've talked about this on this channel. I would like Game Pass to get to the level of Netflix. I don't think they're there yet. Before they start doing the price increases, I think if they have a broader audience like they expected to have as far as the numbers, and I'm not saying what they have is anything to scoff at, dude. They're making money off of it. But had they had the number, I think they were aiming for something a little bit higher. They probably could have weathered the cost. Maybe, possibly. Again, this is an economic issue. This is a global economy. That's the way I look at it. Or they could have just pulled the trigger because they know they got the games in there. We just got inundated. July is probably like the most insane month as far as game drops that I've seen in the time that I've been on Game Pass. I'm not saying they didn't have great months and great weeks, but man, this thing's pretty epic. It's pretty epic. I mean, across the board, if you look at the month of July, and there's months where they had a couple games in there that was awesome, and then they did silent drops or drops throughout the month. Or in my opinion, when they do certain drops, they do to counter the narrative that's out there in the media and the gaming community, and it tends to turn in Microsoft's favor, right? Because people are appreciating the effort they're putting into it. But this was just an all-out, just dude, this was like that shock and awe effect, man, of Desert Storm. That's what it felt like to me. Because I had to delete some stuff off my hard drive. I'm at that level. I downloaded a bunch of stuff, and I've only been able to get to Hinterberg. Never mind the other games that dropped that I forgot about already. I noticed that the games that are leaving the service this year or this month, I never even got to play like Short Hike. I really want to play that. I just might go ahead and buy it, pull the trigger on it, right? And then there's that other game. I think it's from India, and it has the cooking with the family thing. Good story. I'll play that probably today just to get a feel from it. Feel for it. Unlimited. Sorry about your foot, man. Hope it gets better soon. Yeah, dude. I don't know what my boy did, man. You know what I'm saying? So hope, yeah, Unlimited, bro. Please get better, dude. Take care of your health, man. I always say that, dude. We say that to Hebot. Say that to the brothers out there that got stuff going on, man. This is not that important. It's just fun for us to do, man. I told you guys just like my vlog, get stuff off my chest a lot of times. Shinzo, apparently Diablo 4 brought in a lot of subs. I imagine COD will grow it even more. So, Shinzo, we were talking about earlier in the podcast with the college football, the college football launching, and the amount of people that bought the pre package or the pre sale deal. I thought Limited was talking about it. Is it either Limited or Hebot? Sorry, I'm old. I can't remember a lot of stuff now. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I mean, I think it's already kicked in for a lot of people prepping for it. The fact that you'll be able to do it as a subscription service, and I'm pretty sure. Look, dude, Activision, they're not dumb. I know Bobby's not there anymore. Probably for the better. No hate on him, dude. He did what he did, but I think they'll find a way to try and mold it to get some kind of profit, to diversify that portfolio so they can get some kind of money. Hopefully, it's not overboard, right? But the way that I consume games now, I tell you guys I play Diablo, or not Diablo, Warhammer, Dark Tide 40K. So I buy, if they have something in the store that I like, dude, I go ahead and buy it. Throw money support that way. And then, of course, it's in Game Pass. So, most of the time, these guys get the money up front. And in getting the money up front, that helps these developers. And then they get the cherry on the cake Sunday from a person like me because I end up buying the game, especially if it's a game I like. I buy it, I put it on my backlog, and then you benefit from it. I told you guys last video we talked about last week's video. We talked about the ecosystem. Learn about it, guys. Occupy that ecosystem, dude. You can get cash back in some senses. You know what I'm saying? With every purchase, definitely use that. I finally turned in 100 points. My goal was to get to 300,000. Kind of stagnant right now, dude, because of everything that's going on. So I decided to just pull the trigger on 100,000 points. So at the end of the year, I'm not going to hit that goal. I might fall short of a couple goals just because of the way life is right now, guys. Things is constantly in flux, man. And that's why kudos to Microsoft, dude, to be able to stay ahead of the curve. Because that's all this is, man. And we'll talk about that, dude, when it comes to Microsoft Pivot was a topic we were talking about, and then the Xbox brand versus the console, the brand versus the physical. But yeah, Diablo 4 has been huge for them. I think it worked out great on both ends. Yeah, too, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, I love that show too, man. Love that song. Welcome back, Carter. Thanks for being here too, man. We're just gonna just a simple wrap up, man. Won't be long. We're just the opportunity for the guys to come in. If they can, then we can just go wind it up real quick. But thanks to man. Yeah, dude. Man, dude, that's throwback. I want to buy that on digital, dude. I'm waiting for Microsoft to put that on sale in their store, and then I'll pick it up. That's what I've been doing now, man, to kind of appease my need for consuming pop culture, especially when it comes to television. I've just been watching a lot of old stuff, and of course, dude, I put K dramas. You guys know what I'm about on this channel. Flintlock is pretty fun. I dig it. Plus it being Souls like, at least there's an easy option, so that's good. Ah, so it is Souls like. I heard people saying that it wasn't really Souls like, Shinzo. But you're saying it is. It kind of looked like an action adventure type. I mean, it looks interesting to me, dude. I'll play it. It's in Game Pass. I'll play it. I know there's a lot of politics surrounding it. It's another one of these games that got the Sweet Baby Inc. tag. I still recommend you guys look, dude. If you guys are sworn off of this stuff, DEI stuff, Sweet Baby Inc. I understand, dude. I tend to tread on that side, but at the end of the day, remember we're gamers. We're gamers as well, and this is something that I've learned over the last 2 months. I did a video talking about this. Because some people talking about this stuff, they're talking about they're not Xbox guys and they're not gamers per se, right? They're dabblers in gaming. Like if you bleed green and if you're on this channel and you're hardcore gaming, man, I recommend anybody just try it out, dude. If you find out that you don't like the content in there because of certain politics or because of certain the way they treat the consumer or any of that kind of stuff, dude, understand, man. But we all have different levels, right? And then I would hate as a gamer missing out on an experience that you might enjoy. Okay, I always use this as an example, man. He-Man wasn't planning to watch it, dude. Not as big a fan of Kevin Smith as I used to be. Hebot came in. He's just like, look, dude, let me just lay it out for you. I trust Hebot's opinion because at the end of the day, dude, he loves and eats, breathes He-Man, and he understands the universe. He put me on top to some of the stuff, and then I'm glad I watched it, dude, because there was a course correction, in my opinion, during in that show, right? And the stuff that was in there didn't bother me. And had I not watched it, I would have missed out on all the other stuff. I mean, I would say 90% good, man. 10% some stuff I didn't like, but 90% all. I'll be honest with you, dude, almost 99%. Because that 1% thing was you could just overlook it, right? I mean, there wasn't trying to preach to you or force stuff down your throat, which is where I find a big problem. Shinzo, man, for me personally, dude, I'm looking forward to play Flintlock. I mean, I'm not a Souls like person, but if there's enough action RPG elements in there for me, dude, I'm all on it. The character looks cool. The world looks amazing. That's the kind of games I grew up on. I'm tending to go back to those action adventure games that I love. And then the one thing we're finding out with a lot of these games that when they cross the stream, so to speak, man, and they do it right, dude, it's an unreal experience, dude. You can't touch it, dude. And that's what I'm all about, dude. First and foremost, as a gamer, it's about the experience. What's up, Daniel Berry? Yeah, dude. I'm pretty sure you heard our boy, man, Other Zing talking about Caitlyn and stuff like that. Dude. No offense, of course. Right? For me, like when I look at Caitlyn, just some of the passes. Sometimes to me, she looks a little lackadaisical. But I mean, to Other Zing's point, man, they pressing her, dude. They always pressing her. In fact, one of the girls, I think it was what's her name, Diana? No, not Diana. She plays for the Liberty, man. She's an all-star. She's really good. I think she basically came on and said that's their game plan, dude. Their game plan is is revolved around Caitlin Clark. So again, yeah. So Other thing, 100% right. Well, all I see with her, I mean, for me, it's just you see Caitlin improving every game, and I just see some stuff that she can work on. But I mean, she's a dude. Once she did the triple double on top of that, that's what people have to. All the haters have to back off. I'm not saying she just still doesn't have haters, but triple double, that's crazy, dude. She's always around the ball. She's always making things happen. And the momentum of the game can swing at no time when she does something. Dude, the fans are there. It's crazy. It's good times, man. WNBA. Like I said, it's reminding me of the NBA of the '80s when everything was just blowing up, and that's a good time, dude. If you're a basketball fan, definitely watch it. But hey, welcome, Daniel. Yeah, Tomas Shizzle said, "What's up? Cheers." Yeah, I bought a lot of Game Pass games, ones that I want to keep. Like I just got Tunic. Dude, I thought I bought Tunic, bro, and I didn't. I don't know why I didn't buy it. And then it was half price, but then I got busy and I forgot about the sale, which is fine, dude. I mean, I think it's still like we still get 10% off, and Tunic's such an awesome game. You know what I mean? It's not $70. I think that's another advantage um, that Game Pass gives you, or just ID at Xbox in general, dude. You have a lot of great games that you can play at a really reasonable price. I think I see some of the stuff going up, but then again, you guys know I'm hyper focused on the economy on this channel, so it doesn't really bother me. But yeah, I'm definitely got to go pick it up, dude. Plus, I need to get some more bonus points to get my totals back up. And I've been buying physical and some stuff, guys. But it's been hard where I live, dude. I don't know what's going on, man. I mean, it's just one of those things. You know, I live in the Pacific. I live in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and shipping and dude, everybody's just buying from Amazon now at this point where I live. It's crazy. Shinzo Tuma says, "What's up? Get the daps, man. It's an action adventure like Souls game, but much more forgiving." Yeah, so I'm just not. Souls games tend to kind of frustrate me. Um, and I'm not saying that's bad. There's people that enjoy playing those kind of games. But it frustrates me to the point that takes me out of the game. And that's a me thing. That's not a game thing, dude. That's a me thing. Because obviously, with the sales of some of these games, dude, there are people that like doing that. I'm not one of them. To be honest, I don't like CBBs because they push their politics down everyone's throat. But Finlock is really good. Yeah, Shinzo, and that's what I on this channel. I mean, that's why I did the video about 2 weeks ago talking about this. Um, you know, because there's going to be games that are going to get caught up in the mix. Because what happens, right, is it was on the opposite side of the pendulum was swinging one way when it came to DEI and all that, all that stuff. Then the politics got involved, and let's be honest, man, people were being toxic, which is what the DEI stuff was supposed to be against. And then the pendulum shift the other way. Unfortunately, when it shifts the other way, it can shift too far to the right. And what I want to do on this channel, dude, at this channel is a pop culture channel, but it's definitely an Xbox channel. It's definitely a gaming channel. I don't want to go off the deep end with this kind of stuff because I'm listening to some of the guys that I love, enjoy, and I no hate on them, dude. I still watch their channels. I love their content, but when they talk about gaming, man, that's not their forte. But in a sense, they got to cover it, right? Because it's all everything's pop culture. This is why I don't talk about certain things. Like you hear me on this channel talk about DC Comics. I am not a DC guy. That's why I don't go deep. That's probably why it doesn't bother me as much as somebody like E-Rock. Like E-Rock will go on like a tangent of what WB does, what DC's doing with their. I can't go that deep because that's not me. Now, you take Marvel, right? Some of you dudes think I hate Marvel, and I'm the biggest Marvel fanboy. Um, but that's why I'm so hard on them. But I've had people say, "Dude, you're not a fanboy. Why you hate Marvel so much?" I was like, "Dude, they just need to do better. They can do better. We shouldn't be when it comes to the Marvel brand and the stuff that they're producing. We should not even be here. Like I should be fighting with E-Rock and Unlimited about how great Marvel is, and they should be telling me how great DC is, and we should be arguing with each other. And every time we do a podcast, we're all we're all agreeing with each other, right? Because we understand what's going on in the movie industry, right? We put on a lot of hats. A lot of the guys that are in our circle, right? We're multifaceted. We put on a lot of different hats. A lot of us can talk about music, as you can see, like Daniel, right? Daniel, if you ever see my channel before, I never really talked about sports, and then I'm back into basketball because of WNBA and Caitlin Clark. Full disclosure, right? Because I grew up playing sports. I grew up playing basketball, dude. I love sports games when I was younger. My taste have changed over time, but it's easy for a lot of us guys to switch into these things. But again, being cognizant of the fact of how old we are, how times have changed, and more importantly, the type of fans that are out there now and the type of fans we are or used to be, right? So that's why I like all the guys on the channel. Like Zing came in here, dropped a little knowledge about the financial situation, right? With a lot of people wondering what Microsoft is doing, right? With the Amazon Day, Amazon Prime, they were talking about, you don't need a console type of marketing, right? And for me, it's just targeting demographics, right? And of course, everybody's like, "Oh, we want more marketing," and then they do marketing, and it's not the marketing that they want. Because like I'll be honest, dude, I think the marketing that most people want just doesn't work anymore. I'll probably end up buying it to love the world and the character so far. Shinzo, man, that's a great point because what you can do, you can actually leverage that. because Microsoft does deals with these companies, and so you're already paying Game Pass. We pay a little bit extra now, right? So that should, for all you people that feel guilty, please don't. This is why on my channel I told you it's a service. I've always told you guys that it feels like it's free, but it's not. You're paying, so you shouldn't feel any shame for like utilizing that to your advantage, especially if you can't afford every game. Sarah Bond says this. Phil Spencer said that. Sarah Bond says this ad nauseum, right? If people just listen to her, right? Like the whole thing with the brand versus the with the console versus the Xbox brand versus the Xbox console. People making it a thing. I mean, in a way, it is a thing, right? But it's just it's the industry. It's more of an industry thing, not a Microsoft is sitting there wanting to kick all the console gamers off. But again, people talk about this stuff, you guys got to sit back and realize, does it make sense? Why would they call out a proponent of their fan base or consumer base or however you want to kick it that actually buys stuff? You know, we're the last. The physical market is the last great bastion for gaming, and we show up even though our numbers are wilting and we're limited. It makes enough of a footprint for these guys not to take it lightly. I'm not saying eventually that this will not happen, but I don't think everybody should be chicken little with the sky falling down, dude. It is, take everything with a grain of salt. Unlimited was talking about that earlier today, dude. You got to really put on your eyeglasses, dude. When you're looking at stuff, like when some people talk about these things, you got to understand where they're coming from and why. What is their motivations? That's how I look at everything now, and I'm forced to. I shouldn't have to, but you know what I'm saying. Um, I would say Flintlock is more akin to Ashes. Yeah, that's what I think Heba was saying that to Ashes Fallen and Souls or Elden Ring. Yeah, dude. That's why I'll definitely check it out. No worries, bro. I mean, I'm not gonna. If it is I mean, but like you said, it's not. So, and I didn't think it was gonna be, man. To be honest with you. Oh, Shinzo, Daniel says Daniel, yo. Tunic is definitely a keeper. Yeah, dude. It's challenging too, man. When I first started playing, I thought, oh, this is going to be one of those cute games. I just bought Coco Cucumbers. I think it's Coco Cumber or whatever. They had this other game, and I just bought it because I just love the look of the game. And it wasn't that expensive, dude. And it's like an easy, just chill type of game. I wish I could remember the name of it. And it had this Islanders things on there, which I thought was funny, right? Represent, right? And so I was watching it, dude. And I was like, oh, this game's pretty cool. And then it's like, if you just want to change your pace kind of game. So Tunic came on not too long, and I was thinking Tunic was going to be the same thing, and I was wrong. That's about a number of times I've died. That's why I know I'm old. Yeah, definitely Shinzo. No worries, bro. No worries. I find I love the chat because I find that a lot of the stuff that the people in the chat I definitely learn from. I definitely get informed on stuff because I don't know anything. Like Mr. Kima dropped some knowledge on me, but he went through Twitter. I know he was listening about one of the guys in here earlier, which I really appreciate. So yeah, definitely respect you guys' opinions. Because at the end of the day, dude, I think you're here because of the same reason why I follow the people that I follow. Or I go to the channels that I go to. Right? We have a feel for what we like and what we don't like, and even if we don't like the same thing, it's fine, right? We're not gonna cry over it, right? Because at the end of the day, we are all gamers. Um, Hold on one second, guys. Okay, yeah, it's fine. So since you brought it up, dude, we'll switch over to that, guys. We'll switch over to the DEI. Um, what is going on? Sorry, my computer's looks like it's lagging. Hold on. Okay, yeah, here we go. Just to wrap up on the DEI aspect of the podcast we're doing today. Again, good point, Shinzo. And honestly, I agree with you 100%. Um, they were so heavy-handed, and by them I mean a lot of the people who are in the politics of it, a lot of the corporations and the businesses that participated in it. One of the major problems I had is when people started getting toxic, and by toxic I mean you're getting ostracized, you're getting called names, which had nothing to do with gaming, right? It all came from the political, most of it. I've been called a number of times racist. I've been called a number of times a Nazi, a white supremacist. Guys, I live on an island in the Middle Pacific. My genetic structure and makeup tend to be of the Polynesian persuasion, right? Uh, if you looked at me, you wouldn't think I'm any of that. right? And then what it does, right, and where that leads to is just the conflict of ideas, right? And that's the battleground that DEI was occupying. And what ended up happening was when people weren't agreeing or people had different opinions, because at the end of the day, dude, I mean, and I try and keep that in mind when I talk to my brethren in the podcast, dude. We all have different experiences. We're all of different ages. I've experienced discrimination, quasi racism, way different from other people have through race, through geography, through all of that kind of stuff. Dude, I was having a long Twitter or X conversation with one of the guys I know, where we were discussing this ad nauseum. Um, and so that's the one thing. If it brought it about for like an end game, if it brought it about to get to a better place, I'm talking about DEI. But as I was trying to say earlier with Elon Musk, he basically, I agree with the way that he basically structured what DEI was. It's basically it gives it gives bullies a shield that they can attack people with, and that's what it was turning into to me as a person of color. Like I don't use that term. I don't. That's not something I grew up with. I know it's definitely something of this generation, but I guess to make people understand. Um, And I just grew up different, man. I just grew up different. I just, the way my life was, we just didn't have time to focus on stuff, dude. You just have to keep on moving. I think that's what a lot of people are dealing with the economy now. It's kind of waking people up. This is why you see kind of a transition away from stuff because people don't have time. When things are good, when you have money, when your life is good, you have these times to have these existential type of thoughts. You think a little bit more deeper, man. You go down certain rabbit holes and stuff like that because things are good. When things get rough, things are hard, and you got to focus on work. You got to focus on bills. You got to focus on all this stuff, man. Subscriptions getting raised by $3. Again, not hating on people. There's people that might have to make tough choices. But I'm saying, all of this stuff goes out the door. So to wrap it up again, if you guys didn't hear, man, Microsoft, we talked about it earlier in the podcast. They basically came out and they fired or closed down the DEI portion of their Microsoft business. So they actually had a team of DEI people. And I'm pretty sure they looked at it across the board. I'm sure there's people there that, dude, if you guys Xbox, man, you know how Xbox rolls when it comes to diversity, inclusion, and equity. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? They all in on that bandwagon, you know what I'm saying? The one thing I'm able to rock out with Xbox because at least they're not really heavy-handed. They make their feelings known, but if you have something to say, they don't really push it, shove it down your throat. Like if they found out, like say I was some kind of MAGA type person, you know what I mean? And then I go on my Xbox and then shut down. Like stuff like that other people will do. Go to those extremes. They have their opinion. I have my opinion on this kind of stuff. You hear the guys in here, dude. We across the board from every background or across this country, right? And a lot of us have a lot of different opinions, man. But at the end of the day, if these guys want to play games, fine. If they want to be on the podcast, fine, dude. Because we adults, right? And I think because we grew up, most of us are older. We grew up with this, man. And then plus, we understand that when we was growing up, most of the time you had an opinion, you was face to face with somebody, right? so you know what I'm saying? Choose your words wisely. You know what I mean? Because then crap will go down. I'm not trying to glorify it. I'm not trying to say that's just the reality of it. We live in a time now where we're all discussing behind an avatar, as you can see here, baby metal, right? You can see you don't have no idea what I look like, possibly how big I am, how small I am, all of that stuff, right? If I have money, don't have money, you're just taking it at face value. So I try and keep that uh, cognizant when I talk. Look, I lose my mind from time to time. I'm passionate about stuff too, right? And but when it came to their DEI team, so I know they shut it down, but what they probably did, they just rolled it back into HR, which most companies are doing now. Where I work, they're doing that. HR is getting a more prominent role, right? The people that focus on it, they just kind of go into the wayward side because you already have an EEO, equal opportunity person, an officer. You have HR, which you do need because if things do go bad, right? There's paperwork that needs to be done. As I have like a data entry / admin job where I see this happens firsthand. And so to me, that makes more sense because at the end of the day, it's a business, it's a company, and they should treat it as such as opposed to being activists, which a lot of these people were turning into. You know what I'm saying? So that was hurting them, right? Because for the most part, I've seen these guys putting people in boxes. And at the end of the day, dude, they are consumers, whether you agree with them or not, dude. That's the best lesson I learned working for a great grocery chain called Publix. Um, so, and they taught me firsthand, and you kind of know this, right? But he told me the customer, one of the best managers I had, Mr. Barnes, is like, look, and he put it very succinctly. He's like, the customer is always right. And then he looked at all of us, like we thought it was a trick question. He goes, but is the customer always right? And he looked at us, kind of questioned us, and then we were like, nah, dude, Admiral Akbar just jumped into my head. I'm like, no, this is a trap. I ain't gonna say nothing. And then he basically says, yes, the customer is always right, but are they always right? No. And the way he framed it was like the customer does not know the inner workings of the store. They only see what's at the front value. They don't know what we do behind the machinations and stuff like that that happen behind the scenes. Something as simple as day old bread, right? Like a lot of the customers will come up to me when I'm doing the bread, and they're like, no, 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 I know this is not the one. This is the newest one, and I'll be trying to tell them, no, it's not. We rotate them out, and they don't want to hear it. But you know what happens? They're like, no, I'm telling you, this is the one. That's the one I want. And I said, okay, sir, no problem. And then what you do, you grab that loaf of bread and you give it to him, right? You give it to him because he's spending his money on it. That's what you did, and that's what I always did. Now you have people that are making products, selling it to people, forgetting that there's this relationship you have, right? For various reasons, man. I mean, the way that our society's progressed, the way that business has progressed, man. That one for one's not there, and then technology gets involved. Um, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, dude, it is an exchange of goods and services. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That's what it boils down to. And then when you start calling your consumer names because you don't like them or you have an idea of what they are, and then you get a blowback, right? Because what happens is, dude, look, dude, boycotts are boycotts. If you want to boycott, go ahead. I don't think boycotts are as effective as most people think. I mean, a lot of it is just to get stuff. It's emotion. It's an emotional response a lot of times to a lot of people, right? And if that makes you feel better or if it works, whatever. For the most part, when I see boycotts, they don't. Even when the business is course correct, it's just bad management. They panic, right? As you can see by other companies that don't. But at the end of the day, what I know works is when that red line drops. When that red drop that line is high on their chart, when it's profit and revenue or whatever, when it's high, and then that thing starts to dip, that's what really works. So what's happening now is people are getting tired of it. Again, I'll bring it up. It's the economy, right? People are like, dude, I just don't have the money, um, and they walk away. And when you walk away, that's a big deal. When a person chooses to walk away without saying anything, where they don't know anything about the politics, at the end of the day, it's like, it's my money, I'm done. Right? When they walk away like that, that's when the business is in trouble. Real talk. Because the odds of you getting that consumer back is nil. And I'm telling you right now, dude, I see it all the time, dude. I consume a lot of this because it's interesting to me. So people are actually finding reasons not to spend money. That's how bad it is for consumers. They're finding reasons, and I'm saying this. Some guys have thick skin, dude. If it was better economic times, and you call somebody a certain name, or you insult them, and stuff like that, but they'll stick around and still like listen to your podcast or buy your product, or give you whatever money they give you, right? Patreon or whatever. You stick around and do that. These are not those times, right? So the people would have had that they have that level of tolerance when the economy is bad, dude, that tolerance level drops. And so I've seen people talk about that. It's like, oh yeah, that person, he did say that, right? They don't like the color red, or they don't like the color blue. Oh yeah, dude, I can't hang with that. But it's not that, like, before that would not bother them, but that doesn't even matter, dude. It's because they're looking at their, when they get paid, dude, and then stuff starts coming out of your bank account, dude. That's the level we at right now. And that's why you see these businesses like Microsoft course correcting. And shout out to Satya Nadella, man. That's a tough call, I know, for him, right? Because he has to manage a lot of different people. Because Microsoft is an international company at this point. They're a U.S. company, I know, but they're all over, as you can see by the outage, how big they are, how big their footprint is. So he has to navigate a lot of different waters, man. I'm pretty sure there's people there that was not happy about that. Satya also made a comment about the assassination attempt that some people would not like, right? Because there's some people that don't like Trump. It is what it is. So, and then right after that, there's an outage. I'm just saying, again, you guys know if you're on this channel, man, I do these rabbit holes. I wear a tinfoil hat. I mean, I'm just saying, right? So doing something like so, my point being, Microsoft doing something like this, um, it's real. It's down to the basics, right? It's foundational, man. They're at that level. They're at that line, right? Because the way that they put it, like they don't see any return investment on that. And when a company like Microsoft starts talking like that, dude, it's over. And I'm not saying everybody got fired, like the same with the studios, dude. They probably rolled some of these dudes up into other positions, but the level of influence, because if we're being honest, it doesn't work, and it was becoming weaponized, which is why this stuff is getting exposed now. Again, on this channel, dude, I'll keep it 100 with you guys, dude. Just because something has Sweet Baby Ink on it, I told you guys this too in the last two podcasts ago. Microsoft didn't need Sweet Baby Ink. Microsoft already had that level of awareness, quote unquote awareness, when it comes to race, religion, um, ideology, all that stuff, right? I mean, if you again, dude, if you guys bleed green, you guys notice about Microsoft, dude. If you guys see when Microsoft does certain things, you see some hardcore fans coming out talking about it, and not in a disrespectful way, dude. But they have their comments, right? And Microsoft, to their credit, dude, they don't go out there and do an error code, whatever, to your account. Um, I know they'll put the bad hammer on certain things; they won't let it go. So my point is, at least they're consistent. That's why I've never had a problem with them. I have no problem sharing the space with people that have difference of opinions, different of politics. You vote a certain way, you don't vote a certain way. The only problem I've ever had people that have differences is when they try and shut me down, and I ain't having it. We don't play that here. We don't. The King Trash wanted to come in earlier, dude, but I don't know you, bro. I don't know you like that. And then these spots are reserved for the guys that are coming here and put in the work, and then the chat that's in here who wants to jump in. So that's the open door policy here. If we want to do something on the side, we can set something up. I'm totally fine with it because that'll probably be a one-on-one. You know, like I said, I did that with Zobi, but Zobi's part of the crew here. I mean, we disagree on stuff, man, but we agree on stuff like that, and we old school. So Shinzo says, "Gonna be driving, so gonna listen now. Have a great day, everyone." Yeah, thanks, Shinzo. Thanks for being in the chat, dude. Appreciate it. Um, so that's my opinion on DEI, guys. That's how I roll with it, dude. I've been doing that. That's the way I. That's just the way I am, dude. And I've always been this way. A lot of this stuff that you hear people talk about, or I mean, a lot of them, like the whole red pill analogy, right? They're coming new to the game. I've been like this my whole life. It's nothing that's shocking to me. It's nothing that throws me off my game. It's quote unquote. You know what I mean? When certain things happen, it just to me, I always look at it. Yeah, not surprising at all. Um, but these are uncharted waters, man, and this is why you see a lot of these busy starting to change too, because we're 2 years, dude. When people was getting checks, when everybody was at home and people were buying certain things, that had an impact on them. But what's happening now is the reality is beginning to set in, and this is why you see the pivot as well with these businesses. Which it should be like that, dude. I'll just be honest with you. This is what I like, dude. I want you to be a business for me. I don't need you to be my preacher. I don't need you to be my dad. I don't need you to be my mom. Right? I don't need you to be my therapist. I don't need you to be my analyst. I don't need none of that, dude. Just you be you. You be you, man. You be a business, dude. You treat me as a consumer, as a customer, or even a fan, right? With some of the stuff that we consume, especially in pop culture. And never the twain shall meet. That's all I need. Right? I don't need you to be my friend even. You know, if we have conversation, that's fine, right? I follow some of these dudes on social media, dude, and they reach out. So that's that next level connection. But at the end of the day, it still comes back to me buying your goods and you providing me those services. I think if we get back to that in business, dude, we'll be back to good, and then all of this stuff will work itself out. So Xbox console versus the brand. I want to touch on that as well. What I mean by that, guys, is as you know, when the news hit, we talked about it a little earlier. Um, everybody's concerned about Xbox consoles. Everybody's making predictions that it's going away, but when you listen to a lot of these guys, when they say it's going away, it's going to be like tomorrow or next week or next month or by the holiday season. Ironically, Microsoft, one of the few things they've come on and they've talked about this and guarantee everybody, and I'm talking about Sarah Bond, has already come down and that should have laid all of these fears to rest. What you should be focusing on, if so this is something that worries you, is the future, right? But again, like I said earlier, dude, you have to look at it not just the future of Microsoft and Xbox, but the future of the industry. Because something like that, with consoles going away, everybody is so hyper focused on Microsoft and the Xbox brand, that they never took the time to look at everything around them, because that doesn't matter. A lot, and I'm talking about gaming media is one of the worst. I can let the mainstream media go on the financial end because they have a financial tilt, and that's all they care about. They have nothing to do with console war. Gaming media is all in on the console war. These influencers are going all in on the console war, which is beginning to piss me off with some of these guys I follow. And I'll push back on that on this channel. And then, of course, all the haters on the opposite side, or just people that want to put their 2 cents, which is fine. Right, but a lot of people love to see stuff burn, burn down. And if you occupy this ecosystem again, very specifically using that term, if you buy digital games, you are in the Xbox ecosystem. That should matter to you, right? Because you spend a lot of time and money supporting this product, supporting the game, supporting the people that support Xbox, and the ecosystem, and to some extent Microsoft, because now they're all on board with they're all in with the Xbox brand, which is why you're seeing the pivot that you're seeing. But don't get it twisted, guys. Please don't buy into the hype. Don't buy, definitely don't buy into the hate. Microsoft is going to do it all, because they're that 5 million or whatever thing Phil said. A lot of us thought it was like reaching out as far as console, reaching across the board in some aspects. But it's in full effect. It is 100% unadulterated, uncut. They're going to meet any gamer wherever they are, dude, and they're going to try and get you. They're going to try and get your money. They're gonna want you to be on the Xbox experience. That's what we should start calling it now, is the Xbox experience, because that's what it is. It's like the Joe Rogan experience, right? It's the Xbox experience. That's what we're dealing with right now. Okay, so to me, I don't even worry about the console, because if it eventually goes away, it is an industry thing, which is separate from what all these people are talking about. This is why this is kind of good for Xbox guys, because this makes you realize it'll open your eyes to the real what people really feel about the console, what their real agenda is, what they're really into, what their real intentions are, what their knowledge base really is. Are they even gamers? When you look at it that way, dude, it'll expose a lot of these people. Right? I've known this for a long time. All the guys on the podcast know this for a long time. Hebot's been preaching this forever since I know him. Right? Hebot's like Nostradamus, dude. This dude, Hebot been on this point for years, even before I got hot and heavy into this stuff. Right? Again, look at their motivation. Look at why they're doing it. Some of it is for clicks and views. Some of it is because they just hate. Right? Some of these people are ignorant. They need content for the channel and just rolling what the media says, and that's strike one. That alone right there, boom. You can't take this seriously. Okay. Yeah, so don't worry about it. Sarah Bond talked about it. I definitely. So the conversation that I would like to have when it comes to this stuff, like, I believe they might do a hybrid console. Could be wrong, but since we're fanboys here, dude, that's what I would like to talk about. Right. A kind of PC console hybrid. Day has been on the show. Day has part of the crew. Day has talked about it from the PC perspective. I've always appreciated that, because it opened my eyes to a lot of this stuff with PC. My own personal feelings aside with PC. Because I still want to be abreast of all the stuff that Microsoft is doing, because it's multifaceted, guys. You need a lot of different people involved in this too. You do have to keep an open mind and look at a lot of people's opinions, because at the end of the day, I mean, it'll form a lot of the stuff. You get a better picture, right? You get a better picture of what's actually going on, so that you're not caught off guard. And by caught off guard, man, we spend money on this stuff, guys. We do. That's the reality of it. But that's all I meant by that. The brand versus the console. People are pitting one against the other. Moving forward, this is the way it's going to be until it's not. Right? And that'll be dictated by a lot of stuff. Hit the nail on the head, as always. This morning he talked about the average person, the average consumer. Right? You see that they move needles, and Microsoft is going to be there to meet them wherever that needle moves. That's the great thing about what Microsoft is doing, if I'm being honest. Right? Letting you guys know straight off the bat. Right? So don't take it for what it's worth, dude. Look, dude, Microsoft, things went down for, and I'm talking about Microsoft proper, the actual company, with the internet, dude. That was a big snafu, right? And people were all over it, across the board. This is why you don't have to worry about Xbox in that sense, dude. They have enough haters, and they have enough investors, and they have the media. Everybody's watching every single thing they do as a consumer. Maybe not so much as a fan, but as a consumer, I can appreciate that because everything they not everybody was okay, but for the most part, they got everything up and running. Same thing happens when live is down, dude. I didn't have any problems, right? So I think people over dramatize it. But the positive thing is if you're in that situation, Microsoft just can't ignore it. You know, I'm dealing with that now where I'm at work, man. Where we're falling under this other, like basically an overlord looking at all our stuff, dude. They expect stuff from us. Then when we ask them questions, it's crickets. We get nothing from them, right? Until they need something from us. And that's not a good relationship to have. Nobody wants to be in that position. And because of all the hate Microsoft gets, because they're such a big corporation, like I say all the time, dude, when the decimal points move when there's mistakes with Microsoft. And that's a benefit to us, guys. I'm trying to look, I'm just showing you the silver lining in the dark cloud, right? Because when stuff goes bad, you don't have to worry about it because they have to fix it. They just can't sit on their laurels. They're not just over there pushing buttons, like trying to piss people off, right? They're like, boom. Xbox All In channel, dude, that pisses them off. Look, I'm pretty sure they have their people there that do their little things, right? I can't blame them, dude, because of all the stress, right? That might come with it comes with the territory of being an Xbox guy. So I can see them, pushing buttons every once in a while, but it's not their mo, and neither could it be because um, Microsoft likes their money. Just being real, they're a nice company. They're consumer friendly, but at the end of the day, they like their money. Their investors like their money. Wall Street just likes their money. So that's something to be cognizant of, right? So don't get caught up in all the hoo ha. In fact, all of this stuff will fade when they announce the new console, which I hope they do later on in the year because I think that'd be great. Just to stoke the fire, stoke the flames, and also to expose all the frauds. Um, what else were we talking about? Microsoft Pivot. Dang, dude, what were we talking about with the pivot? I'm trying to remember, guys. With the pivot, it was definitely. I know that I was touching on a little bit of DEI stuff, a little bit of Xbox console brand. Dang it, dude. I'm sorry. Oh. So this is the pivot part again, dude. I mean, I don't like to do this, but I have to, right? Because we're gonna talk about politics. Okay. And the reason we talk about politics because I don't want to. We shouldn't have to be. 100%. You shouldn't have to be. But I gotta cover this stuff, dude, because it's again, like I said earlier, in the first podcast that we did earlier today, that politics it's infectious, man. It's in everything, right? It's in the movies you watch. It's in the music you listen to. And I'm not talking about people who speak their mind. I'm talking about um, the actual the politicking of pop culture, right? Where you have people having to pick sides or have people having to share their stuff. If you guys didn't watch, the Republican National Convention was this week. And one of the craziest things I've seen, dude, like, look, if you hate Republicans, you hate Trump, whatever, dude. But if you guys love wrestling, there's clips online. You don't even have to watch the RNC, right? But Hulk Hogan was on there, dude, and he did a little skit. Obviously, he's supporting Donald Trump. But it was just magical to watch him there and then get into character, shift into character. In fact, dude, there's people doing reaction videos. I do recommend Tyrone Magnus. If you guys don't want the public, because if you just watch the RNC feed, maybe that might be a little bit political for you, right? Okay, so there's this dude Tyrone Magnus. Go watch his channel. Go watch his reaction, dude. He's pretty center. He's pretty middle of the road. He tells people that because he gets attacked. He's a reaction channel. People want him to react to it, and of course, people that are politically charged come in there accuse him of being a Nazi or accuse him of being a communist, and he's pretty middle of the road. And I don't jump on people for their own opinions. If I disagree with you, I disagree with you. But anyway, go check out his reaction to Hulk Hogan being at the RNC. Dude. That was like old school Hogan, man. That was old school Hogan, dude. I loved every minute of it. Just the nostalgia beat. And then when I was on X, dude, this one wrestling channel that and it's not a political channel, dude. I follow this wrestling channel. I think it's called 9 WWE 90s Wrestling or something like that. And they'll show the old clips, man. One of the clips they showed, man, it was like Chronic, and it's like Chronic, man, devastating people. I mean, they were an awesome tag team. And so they'll show like these old clips. They'll show like the Steiner brothers in Japan, dude. That was just like it was crazy, man. All the suplexing they used to do back then. It was just crazy. It was just a different time, you know. 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s was just intimidating. They have clips of Bruiser Brody. That I love that dude back in the day, man. Like King Harley Race back when he was a stud. I mean, that dude has been to the, by the time he came up, where a lot of us watched it. You know what I mean? His younger days were behind him. Terry Funk, all these guys. Anyway, my point being, dude, they had a clip where they showed because Linda McMahon, if you guys didn't know, she's a Republican. I don't know if Vince McMahon is. Kane, who is the wrestler Kane. He's actually a Republican governor or mayor. I think governor, either governor or no, I think mayor. I think he's in a town in Tennessee, and then they showed, of course, Hulk Hogan, and the meme was just wanted to let everybody know all three of these people has taken a Stone Cold Stunner at some point in the. Oh no, it was Linda McMahon. Sorry, let me backtrack. It was Linda McMahon, Kane, and Trump. And he basically said, I want you guys to know, a lot of these guys, all these guys have taken a Stone Cold Stunner. So in that aspect, guys, I mean, I think when people get creative, dude, when it's tongue in cheek, when it's not meant to be insulting, when it's not meant to, I'm sorry, guys, am I falling off the thing? When it's not meant to be toxic in that sense, right? Like you want to get people canceled, dude. You want to go over there and put people on blast and stuff like that. I know that's happening back and forth, so it is what it is. But when it's done like that, dude, I have no problem with it. But again, with the DEI stuff, dude, these guys came in heavy-handed. Microsoft had to do what they did because that shutting down the DEI stuff because people were weaponizing it, dude. You see it all the time on social media, dude. It's probably happening at their company, right? You saw the stuff that happened up there. This is my personal opinion. This has nothing to do with all the guys in the group, right? This is just me. Like if they were here, they could give their thoughts and tell me I'm off, or tell me, look, dude, that's not how I feel. Unfortunately, they're not here, so I'll just speak my piece on it. This is all me, okay? The views of this, the views of the guests on this channel, or the view of the moderator of this channel doesn't reflect the views of guests or people that are in the chat. We know Activision, King Blizzard. One of the problems that they were having, right, was the toxicity at the company. From my point of view, the toxicity was on both sides. Right, with the employees and with the management. It was like a tit for tat kind of things too. A lot of stuff was being said. The professional level you think of some of these companies have was just went down the gutter. Right, I'm just being honest. This is the stuff I read, the stuff I researched. You cannot agree with me if you want to, but this is the stuff I'm seeing. And then when Microsoft stepped in, they wanted to be that bridge. And then you see the stuff that happened with some of the games that were released. You see what happened with some of the people that were laid off or let go, the transitioning of people with the group. I think some of that just people wasn't meshing. But again, when you have a multicultural, when you have a multicultural perspective, when you're gonna do the Bennington ad type of political inclusion, that's a bridge too far for some people, right? And that ends up showing in the work, that ends up showing in the community that they have there. That ends up showing up in the business that they run. It begins to infect everything around it, both sides, good and bad, right? Some people might get an understanding, a little bit deeper understanding, but for the most part, when stuff like this happens, right, it's usually on the other end of the spectrum. So for whatever reason, the stuff that they had was positive to the stuff that was negative, dude. And I would say, I'll just again, my perspective, my point of view, I see Redfall was a victim of that. And then sometimes it's just professional disagreements that can bleed into these things, right? So removing this stuff, so I just hope one day that politics would absolutely be removed out of this in the way that politics are now. It shouldn't be. I mean, if it's based on a story for a game and that's the premise, but still your focus is on gaming, your focus is on entertainment, even if it's your message, it's fine. Right, whatever your message is, you can let the consumer at that point decide. The gamer decide. Basically, the gamer / consumer decide if they want to participate or not. Right, and then DEI just gave too much people a bullhorn to complain. Like I couldn't stand that, but this is why I can't stand Disney, Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, dude. At the end of the day, it's not that people are racist or they don't like you because of the color of your skin. It's just that your product sucks, dude. You're not good. You're not good, dude. And that's what DEI took away from a lot of us who are fans. And fans can be I won't say toxic. Fans can be hard, dude, but this is the reason why they're fans, right? There's people that dealt with this stuff. This is what happened with Madam Web. But after they interviewed the two girls, they were on point, dude. They realized, look, not everybody's gonna like our stuff. We did what I did, but they didn't attack the fans, right? And that's the thing. One of the things I ultimately hated about DEI because it gave you, again, like Elon said, they gave you the shield, and then you could just start hurling remarks at people. And some of those remarks were racist. Right? I've experienced that myself, dude, where people were telling me I'm this way or that way, or maybe they know my ethnic makeup and they make some kind of off comment. Somebody did that to me earlier in the week, right? And that person was saying like, "Look, dude, it's about the racism and anti-racism and stuff like that." And then he himself was kind of being racist with me. Now I'm the type of person I don't care, right? I'm just saying, case in point, right? To make a point with all of this stuff and why I had to go. Because at the end of the day, it was actually affecting their business model, dude. People was like, no, dude, I'm done. And again, in this type of economy, that ain't gonna fly, right? So from my perspective, with a lot of the stuff that they're doing, you see some of these teams, you can tell that people are still there working on the games, right? But hopefully Microsoft will reel them in. We'll reel them in. It's like, look, dude, we support you. We support what you want to put in the game, but what we won't support is you arguing with fans or with you calling people names. Right? Or then maybe Microsoft got to go old school, man, with the bat hammer. But I have no problem with that, dude. Because at the end of the day, dude, I don't come to play video games to learn about world peace. I don't come to play video games to learn about um, uh, diversity, economics, really, right? Unless I'm playing a game where I've got to manage stuff, right? The stuff that involves politics or economic, the worldly stuff that involves gaming is already built in and caked in because it's part of the gaming experience. And what has happened is it's not about the gaming experience, dude. It's an outside world trying to infest and then basically trying to indoctrinate people, right? Dude, you don't have to tell me what to believe or not to believe. And again, most people don't care. Now I understand there's fans coming in that are hyperly charged. Those guys are disappearing because they're finding out they're getting their first jobs, and they got their first paychecks this year on a summer hire, and they realize why people don't like taxes. They're experiencing that for the first time. They're going into adulthood, right? Certain choices that they made when they were younger is not going to fly when you're in your 20s and you got to pay for stuff. So it's that natural, organic that I love to use progression that people go through, right, in order to continue to grow and be the adult that you think you want to be. Look, life is a reality check, man. You don't need to. This is why they try and infect these communities, whether it's a music community, dude. I watched this video of this lady. Um, she is a Democrat. She's a liberal. Um, and she kind of like changed her political positions. I'm not saying she went Republican and stuff like that, but her whole outlook and perspective was changed. She thought the people on the opposite side of the aisle were nut jobs and all this kind of stuff. She found that on her side, and it gave her perspective. And it all had to do with knitting. No, I didn't jumble my words there. Knitting, as in knitting. You know, people that knit sweaters and all that kind of stuff, right? She was a part of this big community online. This was a big group of people, right? And then politics got involved, and people started getting canceled, and it just all fell apart. And it was hate. She said it was hateful. It was saddening, dude. People that she knew, her friends, got destroyed online, right? And it helped wake her up because she might be 70% agree with most of the people in the group, but that 30%, dude, it doesn't matter. You 99.9% agree with somebody on something. That is that 0.1%, dude. That 1% that could totally, or 0.01%, whatever. That'll set a person off. And that's what we've been experiencing all these years. And I'm more than happy for that to die. It needs to die. It doesn't need to be here. The great thing again is one of the negatives I talked about earlier in the podcast, but it's a great positive. Because a lot of these people came in, right? And they turned into bullies and they tried to bully a community of gamers, comic book guys, anime, any type of basically on the nerd sphere that these guys wanted to come in and bully them and not realizing how we grew up and not realizing the majority of the people that are in here, you know, Your Jedi mind tricks don't work on us, dude. You're trying to ostracize us, don't work. You're trying to ostracize the community that's been ostracized their own life and find comfort in being ostracized, right? And the people in this community, this is why they're so vocal, because we already here, we've been here, we've chosen to be here, right? We don't need that the level of representation, the level of politics, the level of ideology that you guys are trying to push on us, because we like the space the way it is. We're comfortable in the way it is. That's one of the things about that's how you know a person is a nerd or a geek or is in the on the pop culture spectrum of being a social of being an outcast, right? It's because we might wallow in it, dude. We might complain about it, but at the end of the day, we are comfortable in it. Right? It takes something to come along that really to shake it up, right? And even then, it normally doesn't work. What ends up happening is like normies come and invade the space, which is fine, dude. But we're happy to be where we are. We enjoy being where we are, dude. Um, it's not that we're against change, dude, but that change better be fantastic. That's all I'm saying. And that's happened. That's happened, dude. I've seen it, dude. I've seen the crossing of the streams. Right, I was ground floor when that happened. Where guys that wouldn't give gaming the time of day, but because they like Madden, right? Because they like NBA 2K, right? They became gamers, and then it became cool. And then this is what that problems we have right now. But that's a discussion again. We've had a nauseum on this channel. It's a discussion for the other day, for another day. I've rattled off for an hour. Again, I guess hey, I'm sorry. I know I could be better at this, dude. But at the end of the day, dude, I'm just trying to get in when I fit in, and this is how it is. I will talk a little pop culture now, guys. Again, just to cover this on the channel, dude. I've been trying to do WNBA stuff. I haven't been able to watch every single game that I wanted to comment on because I didn't know how their ecosystem worked, and I found out the hard way. Still watching the games though. Still enjoying the league. It's a great league. If you guys love ball, if you guys love basketball, I definitely check it out. The positive definitely outweighs the negatives. But these with the negatives, dude. I mean, it's kind of the league's own fault because the way they managed it. It's kind of the players' own fault because they have the biggest microphone and they tend to bring it upon themselves in a lot of ways. Um, but again, dude, if you just click out the noise, that's what I'm doing, and just enjoy the game for what it is. Enjoy the sport. Just follow the teams. And I'm glad I'm watching everybody. Even like, dude, I like watching Chicago. Dude, I like Angel Reese, man. I mean, I'm old school, guys. Dude, rebounding was my thing, dude. I know a lot of people. She misses a lot of shots. That's why she gets rebound. But it's about the hustle, man. It's like this is what made Rodman famous, dude. She has a Rodman-esque type of attitude around her. I mean, I know the biggest thing now is like, I guess she was in shorts and I guess she got a booty, and everybody was hyper focusing on that. And this girl, um, she knows how to manage that, dude. I know she was getting a lot of hate that kind of threw off her game. Um, but again, dude, if you remember how Rodman was, I'm not saying she's like Rodman. I just say it has that feel to it, dude. But I love. Look, dude, I'm old. I'm not trying to look at these girls other than what they are, gamers. Sure, some of them are cute, some of them are pretty, right? It's all of that, dude. It's a typical thing. But at the end of the day, dude, I just want to enjoy. I just want to consume basketball again, like I used to, dude. And the NBA, I'm sorry, nothing against the NBA, man, but this is why I'm watching the WNBA, dude. I'm too old school, man. I'm too old school for the current NBA. I tried watching a couple games. It was kind of cool seeing the Celtics back in it, as far as nostalgia. Not so much that they won, but it's the nostalgia of it, dude. I grew up in a time when Lakers and Celtics, that was a big war. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. You hear that thrown around a lot. And for the WNBA with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Now, whether you agree with that or not, I mean, it's driven the views, it's driven the league. I mean, most of it's Caitlin, let's be honest. Right, but I've been enjoying it, man. The girl that pushed Caitlyn down, dude. I didn't agree with what she did, man. That kind of upset me, dude. But at the end of the day, I enjoy watching her play, man. She has a style to her. A lot of the girls do, man. One of the team I enjoy watching is Atlanta. And in fact, I think the girl that there's a girl from Atlanta that was playing. I'm sorry, I'm not good with the names yet, but she won the skills and the 3-point, man. And it didn't surprise me at all, man, because I've been watching Atlanta play more than most teams, man. I try to keep up with the Lakers. Cameron, man, that sucks what happened to her with the knee going on. They're still my team, though. I got to rep LA, dude. I'm a Laker fan. So I rep the Sparks, dude, but I watch a lot of Indiana. I like to say, like, I pat myself on the back when it comes to Indiana, dude. People's going hard on them. People going hard on the coach, and the coach is not the best. I think, yeah, I mean, I agree with most of what people say about the coach. But I wasn't really to throw over the backwater because it just doesn't make sense to do that in the middle of the season. And especially given where Indiana was last year to where Indiana is this year. I'm talking about the Fever. Um, and seeing what she was trying to do, I was getting it. I was getting what she was trying to do, but she had her work cut off for her. But it didn't help for some of the decisions she made. That's on her. I can't defend her on that stuff, dude. I mean, I could see what you're doing, but you was wrong. I would have approached it a different way, dude. I would have went all in on Caitlin. That's just the way I am, dude. And as you can see, that's part what's happening with Indiana right now, because she's trying to get everybody in on the game, man. Because other things said, and he reminded me, dude, they was all pressing her because you didn't have anybody else. I mean, aside from Aaliyah Boston, right? The team had to kind of feel themselves. They were in a rebuilding. That's why they brought in the coach they brought in. And just Caitlin just seemed to fall in her lap, which most people was like, oh, that's a good thing. Sometimes it's not, dude. Her game plan, I'm telling you, dude, her game plan of what she wanted, that coach wanted to do, but she still tried to implement it, dude. That Caitlin went there, blew it all up in her face. That's why I believe some of the stories of the animosity and stuff like that, dude, because she trying to handle that stuff. And look, dude, women are catty, dude. You might call me sexist. Some of you guys don't like I say that. I just being honest with you, dude. That's just the way it is, man. Look, dude, guys will just guys like they call us cavemen, and that's for good reason. But guys have disagreements, they just go. I mean, maybe not. That's the old school mentality. I understand, but good to see them get their flowers, man, dude. Man, why am I drawing a blank on her name? See, this is why I get mad at myself, dude. Because hold on, guys. I'm gonna do this the right way for once. I am gonna do this the right way. Or try to, man. I don't know, dude. These dudes driving me nuts, man. Because I kind of sympathize because I'm looking for the three players and everything's Caitlin. Let me get this out, dude. Please bear with me, guys. Please bear with me. I can't remember her name and it's driving me nuts. And now my computer's frozen. My computer's frozen. Are you guys still there? Oh, here I am. I'm going. Mitchell. That's her name. Mitchell. Dude, I like Mitchell, man. I like her. Dude. I love the way she plays. Dude, I love her energy, man. You can tell she's like a she I think some of the reason why people don't like her is because she can take the shine away from Caitlyn. But you need that, dude. You need multiple facets, you need multiple weapons. Right? And she can get hot, she can go cold, just like anybody else in the league, dude. I think one of the problems I have with the league is, and I would like to see them improve, is the consistency within the league, within the WNBA, man. Because some days they're off, some days they're on. This is why Indiana will beat a team like New York and then lose the game against Dallas. And then, of course, again, look, dude, there's issues with matchups. There's some injuries, dude. The travel schedule, right? So, like I know, Kate. One of the things if Caitlin doesn't go to the Olympic team, I'm not sure where that's hanging right now. But if Caitlin doesn't go on the Olympic thing, the great thing for me about that is she had time for herself. She needs to recuperate, needs to spend some time, get back to her life, and come back and hit the gym hard. Get her endurance up, man. Work on her skills a little bit more. I mean, just to improve, give her time to settle in and then come back hungry for the next season. And then I think triple, because I could see triple doubles for her being a thing every game. Right, especially if the team starts to kick on. You see them kind of gelling. Her and her teammates start gelling a little bit better. A lot of people talk about her turnovers. One of the turnovers, yes, she does get turnovers, right? Like she misjudges a pass, she misjudges the speed of a player. She tries to force it in, but that's not the bulk of her turnovers, guys. I mean, a lot of times her teammates can't handle her passes. There's a mistake being made, usually not with her, but they're getting better, man. And that comes with just playing with each other, feeling each other. Some people will never get it, dude. Some people might have to go. I hate to say that. I like the Fever as a whole. Hopefully, everybody can step up their game because they're gonna have to level up, man. In fact, they're gonna have to level 2 to 3 levels up to be a force, man. And then, of course, with that consistency, and it's across the board, dude. When I watch the WNBA, a lot of the games that I watch, um, to get to that next level, at least in my opinion. You guys might disagree with me, but yeah, I just wanted to do that, guys. Look, dude, it's not about me. I'm not falling off the WNBA. I mean, I have to factor it into my schedule when I watch stuff. So my K dramas have fallen off to the side. I haven't been able to touch every single game I want to because I want to keep abreast of everything. Because when I do podcasts like this and it pops up, I'll be able to talk about stuff. The other answer to that on the thing is actually having people on there that be keeping up more than I have and have a back. You know, that's why I want Zinc and Realist on it. Even if we disagree on stuff, dude, they have that knowledge, so I can rely on them a little bit more. So just a little ad hoc to that. Let's see, Indiana Fever. Okay, sorry guys. So DI done. Xbox console versus brand Microsoft Pivot. Yeah, so I'm all in. I'm all in for Microsoft, the Microsoft Pivot. I'm all in for them becoming more business focused. Um, as you can tell with the outage they had with the internet, that became a huge thing. Yeah, so and again, I might do a video, dude. Maybe Zobi will come on and we'll talk about it, dude, because it's the rabbit hole thing, it's the tinfoil hat thing. Maybe I'll do a video specifically on that so that I won't bore you guys or drag you guys down something you guys don't want to go to. But I'm all in on that stuff as well, dude. So that's another case in point, man. Microsoft, get away from that. I'm not saying that your people can't be political. I can't say that you guys can't donate. You know, a lot of people like Microsoft is one of those companies that donate to both sides of the aisle, right, to cover their bases. And this tells you how people that are unhinged, just to be honest with you, on the left, dude, they found out they were mad at Microsoft. Microsoft donates to both. They're a big corporation. And this is when politics becomes too wired in, too involved. And I'm all for them for that going away. Keep it on the political side, guys, because you want to have an informed decision. You know, if my kids come up to me and ask me who they should vote for, I will tell them do your research. I always do that. Anybody who asks me that, I tell them that. Right? Because what might work for me might not work for you. Right? What you might believe in, I might not believe in. And then at the end of the day, I don't want you to come back and tell me, oh, dude, this happened, and why did you tell me to vote for it? That's why I tell you don't vote for it. Do your own homework, dude. Do your own work, man. Vote your own morals, your own principles. You know, because look, I'll be honest with you, dude. Most people can't hang with me, right? I've lost a lot of people in my circles because of my politics, or their reckoning of my politics. Right? I've even put it on my Twitter just so people know, man. So people know from the jump, dude. I put it Christian, conservative, Republican in that order. I put that on there, dude. So if you want to rock with me, rock with me. If you don't, you don't. But at least I'll give credit to the people that stepped away. At least they just stepped away, man. Hey, man, respect and props, dude. Don't have no, uh, type of discussion where it lasts for months. We're just going back and forth. Because at the end of the day, dude, you're not going to change me. You're just not. Right? I'm already at where I'm at, and I've been like this for a long time. And as I've gotten older, I've only gotten more hardcore on this, the way that I feel and the way what I believe in, the way that I vote, the way that I spend my money, all that stuff. The way I buy products, don't buy products, all of that. And it's not, and a lot of that's not politically charged. Actually, a lot of times when you're arguing with people, when it comes to politics, you're arguing with them. You're arguing, and when they're arguing with you, they're looking at you. The person they're arguing with, when it comes to your point of view, is the person that they've created in their mind. A lot of times. Again, you see this all the time in the gaming, in the console war. The difference is it doesn't mean anything. When it comes to politics, guys, it has somewhat of an impact. Which, just to give you guys an idea of where I stand on that, dude, I think that's part of the problem. I think that's actually the main problem, is that it does have an impact. It shouldn't. Limited government is what I firmly believe in. Right. This is why you have FTC versus Microsoft, and you continue to have it. This is why Microsoft, when they raise their stuff $3, the FTC is jumping on it. Right. They're watching every single move. You don't want a government that's like that. If you looked at that court case again, I said this on a previous video. If you look at that court case again when it comes to Microsoft and the FTC, you guys realize really quickly that the FTC, a lot of those guys don't know what they're talking about because that's not their area of expertise. When it comes to what Xbox does or doesn't do, or Microsoft does or doesn't do. This is why when they start off from the perspective that they should, as the FTC, Federal Trade Commission, looking at how this can affect consumers, how this can become a monopoly, not a monopoly. You can look at all that kind of stuff. But once they did that, and it was none of that, then that case should have stopped there. It actually shouldn't have been a case. In fact, there are people that are saying that from the jump. Right? They were reaching for straws. Right? And again, this is what we need to get out of our everyday lives. I hope a lot of you guys, I said that on videos when I was talking about the court case. I hope a lot of you guys are aware of that, cognizant of it, right? A lot of times, a lot of the stuff, a lot of the actions you want taken, you could be that answer. You could be the solution, or a lot of it, it would be better if it was more local, state, city type of thing, right? Because at that level, if you do get involved with your vote or politically and stuff like that, you can actually affect change, right? Because it's more closer to you, right? It's more instantaneous to you, right? I'm not saying states don't have their problems and cities don't have their problems, right? And that there's not issue. There are definitely issues there, but at least that's just you're right there, like you're right next door. So when you organize or when you get together and you do stuff, dude, you're able to affect more change. So the more that you keep at the state and local level, the better for you, dude. And in the federal system, dude, these dudes are all in Washington D.C., man, having a grand old time, right? Again, I use the word incestuous because that's how it is. That's how these guys are, dude. They only listen to each other's BS, and even and regardless of Republican or Democrat, they're politicians. At the end of the day, they got lobbyists, dude. There's a lot of money being had up there. Again, I make this point, dude. You look at a lot of these people's net income, right, on the salaries that they make, which I think their salaries are too high anyway. I think that's another problem. They should lessen the salaries to less than $100,000 a year, or not even a year. What, a session or however once they occupy. That should be $100,000 because you shouldn't be getting rich, dude. You're a civil servant. It's like how you military service, civil service. Right? That's what you are. You're not there to start businesses and make yourself rich. That's not the goal, right? And so, just if you guys want, case in point, man, just look at DC and the surrounding areas in DC. Like the upper part, the other part of Virginia, man. Look at how much those homes cost. Right? Look how much the cost of living is there. Right? And so when things get ridiculous, right? For me, one of the things when DC was becoming overpriced, because that's what they're complaining about, because they use that to justify their price, their salary increases every year, which is stupid. Dude. These guys hold up money and they're giving themselves raises. Dude, this stuff, anybody else that did this would be arrested. You'd be in jail, right? You shouldn't have that power, right? Because their answer to everything is like, oh, the cost is getting more expensive, raise it, right? But you guys keep on raising the raising you guys' income, and it raises the price of everything around. That's why the cost of living there is ridiculous. Right? Well, because what is the private sector going to do? You make more money, they're going to charge you more. I mean, dude, it's like economics 101, right? So when you look at these people's net income or like how much they're making, right, to as opposed to how much they're supposed to be making, dude, these dudes are millionaires, dude. This is why I find it ironic when they complain about rich people because they themselves are considered rich people, by most average people. These people are not middle class. I'll put it to you that way. They're not wealthy, right? They occupy the rich zone, um, and some of them more than others, dude. Some of these guys are worth 30, 40 million bucks, man. And some people are like, well, they did it on their own by doing book deals. And I was, yeah, but they built it off of their political career. They made their connections. Look, it is what it is, man. You know how you can tell a person is not making money off of their political career? They don't last long, or they'll get attacked. Like both sides will attack them, dude. Because when you're a person like that and you come in and you start looking around, it's like, hey, dude, should we be servicing donuts for every single meeting? That's a Look, the donuts we that's like $100 a box. We have over, you know, um, what is it, like 200 boxes or 1,000 boxes, right? And that's just for the morning meeting. Never alone, never, you know, never mind how many other meetings they might have that they're doing. They're catering the same kind of stuff, right? And that budget adds up. That stuff adds up, man. Right? Any other known business, what they would have done is DC would have been broken down years ago because they've gotten so the largest and they've gotten so big, man. Any corporation that did that, dude, they would have been broken up. Either they would have been broken up by somebody like the FTC, sadly, or I mean, just they would have collapsed under their own size. You see that happening with tech right now, which I find ironic, right? Because tech got political in the last election. They've been political for a long time, right? Basically pushing who they want you to vote for. And it came and bit them in the ass, man. They came and bit them in the ass, which I love, dude. That's the pettiness of me. I know. I tell you guys that all the time. It came back, bit them in the ass, right? And now they're paying the price. And the people paying the price are the people that pushed all this stuff, right? Because jobs are being lost. Companies are shifting. This is why I don't get caught up in the whole Microsoft stuff. Because when people are like, Microsoft shut down this or fired that or they did this, the DEI guys are gone. I was like, dude, everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. We've come to that point. Right? And again, I know a lot of you guys will be like, man, why is this guy keep on talking about this? Well, it is what it is. Until it's gone out of here, we got to address it. But like I said, dude, I'm not going to stop anybody from commenting or whatever, dude. You come in here, you talk what you want to talk, you say what you want to say. Right? I'm fine with it. It is what it is, dude. Vote for whoever you want to vote for, man. That's do whatever. But as far as the way, again, I consume my products with Microsoft, dude, I'm all on board for this pivot away from politics. Let's move away from politics, dude. Let's pivot back to what made you guys great. Let's pivot back to what will continue to make you guys great, and pivot to what is going to ensure that you guys dominate at least the gaming market. For me, that's where I'm all in with Microsoft. They do a lot of great stuff. They got a lot of great games. They got a lot of great services. Their ecosystem is on point. Once people begin to figure it out and realize what it gives you, what it gets you, man. Given the economy and how it is, dude, this stuff won't turn around anytime soon. So Microsoft just needs to stay on point. I think I totally 100% agree with them doing what they're doing. Right? It'll benefit me as a consumer as well. Right? Because what they'll do is they'll look at it, case in point, put it through the lens of business, put it through the lens of profit, put it through the lens of the market and all that kind of stuff, and they'll react accordingly, and then we can react accordingly, and then things will get back to the way they should, get back to good. All right, guys. So just a quick wrap up, man. Shinzo, thank you for being here. Tool Man, thank you for showing up the second time around, dude. I really appreciate it. Much love and respect. Daniel, man, I did that little. I hope you got to hear the Caitlin Clark thing, dude. It's okay. I'm bored, man. I'm on the Caitlin Clark train. No worries. No worries. I'm just getting to the point now as I watch consume so much content as far as all the other teams in the league itself. Ironically, not the games I really wanted to watch. I'll be honest with you, right? But yeah, dude, I'm all in on it. I'm all in, and I think it's a turning point for the WNBA, man. Hopefully, they don't jack it up. I think the powers that be are starting to move in that direction. And again, dude, I'm not all on. Dude, I'm just enjoying the game, and I see the mistakes that they make, and I'm hoping they focus on that, do better. But I've been enjoying it exponentially. If I didn't do it, I just would have stepped away. But that's not, case in point. But that's not the experience I've had, man. Shinzo Unlimited, man. I hope your fuck gets better, brother. You hear this podcast? I've been going about an hour. Yeah, that's pretty good, dude. Pretty good. I hope your fuck gets better, dude. I'm trying to get my body better, man. I'm all out of whack right now. Hate to miss the second half of the show. Thanks, Thomas. Thomas says great show. I appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Hate to miss the second half of the show. Still going. Yeah, thanks, Unlimited. Yeah, I wanted to hear your perception. There, Unlimited's gonna get on me about the closing. I did forget about this. I wanted to talk to you about this. So I know with the Sasuke stuff, right? Somebody on X showed a video. It went a bit viral, dude. Not as viral as I wanted to, but everybody's going about cultural appropriation, all this kind of stuff. So this dude. So if you guys didn't know this, man, in Japan, right, the stuff that's going on with DEI and Assassin's Creed, Unlimited is going to get the game, dude, and I'll vicariously live through his experience. I hope you do some videos, dude, because I do want to see how it looks. But somebody shared a video of this Japanese girl, and she's dressed like a cholo. There's a lowrider there, but then she's doing the crip walk, which is normally associated with hood type culture. Where you going?
Beach. And then my friend's graduation.
Your friend, they're picking you up right now?
Oh, they're outside.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Call me if anything, yeah? Have fun. So, we all know it as a crip walk, right? That's what they say. Like, I'm old, guys. I was in the 90s, right? So, dude, and just like case in point, bro, people were jumping all over there. And, dude, to me, rightfully so, dude. I mean, I have my own thoughts and opinions about what's going on with the game and how people are treating it. But, dude, we need to have these conversations, even though they're difficult. Right? Because there's a cholo culture in Japan. Right? Just like there is an anime culture in the West and in the US. Even here in Hawaii, dude, there's an anime culture. It's interesting because the culture is a little bit slanted, in the aspect of more eastern side because of Hawaii being Hawaii, right? So it tends to go on that side of the aisle as opposed to like if I went to a con in Orlando or in Oklahoma somewhere, right? I'm not saying that people aren't fans. It's just a little different culture, right? Because of course it's a different state, right? Different country, on top of that, right? But there's a troll culture there, man, and the guy did this video talking about it. And I'm not gonna lie, dude, I a little bit more understand what that guy was saying about it, even though I'm like, look, dude, it is what it is, kind of deal. And then people will argue it's the historical context that's the hang up of about it too. But look, dude, we live in a global world, right? Things are starting to mesh and move around. I'm from Hawaii, guys. I'm already used to it, dude. I'm already used to it, dude. I am. The stuff that you guys experience now, Hawaii been here since the '70s, and it wasn't all, dude. It wasn't all rainbows and butterflies, bro, and unicorns, dude. Because the when you melding stuff together like that, dude, you still have like the Hawaiians is Hawaiian, Samoans, Tahitian. This is Polynesian I'm talking about. Tongans is Tongans, right? Maori is Maori, right? Then you have Micronesians, Melanesians. You have all this stuff, dude, and it's just the Pacific Rim. So on the outside looking in, some people might see some differences, right? Some people might say we're all the same, whatever, dude. But when I was growing up, dude, that we had already kind of gone past that because of the plantation days here in the states or here in the islands, right? And the mix of stuff that came out it was mostly Asian. Yeah, Japanese, Chinese, found out Koreans too. Feel bad for Koreans because they were just lumped in with the other two. But now they're starting to research the history of Koreans in the islands. I didn't know it was so in depth. Like Koreans have a footprint here as well. Filipinos, most definitely, right? Filipinos is everywhere, right? Filipinos, and then for Polynesians, mostly Hawaiians, but then you also have Samoans. Okay, that's why sometimes people look at Hawaiians, Samoans the same. Well, in this day and age, not really, because Hawaiians are losing the blood quantum. Like my culture, my race, we're losing our blood quantum. Right, so that's why sometimes when you guys come to Hawaii, some people come to Hawaii, they're like, "Oh, is that dude Hawaiian? Oh, dude, that dude looks Hispanic, or that dude looks kind of Indian or something like that, right? That's what I mean by that, right? So we're kind of losing that battle. So that's something to be cognizant of when you guys think about diversity and stuff like that. This is why I look at it from that perspective because I see like, dude, my culture is disappearing before my eyes. Just being honest with you guys. I'm not saying that to, you don't need to send me don't play me no violin, dude. I don't need nobody to send me some like a $2 thing. Right? I'm just giving you perspective of where it is. That's the dark side of diversity. You could actually lose your actual culture with diversity. Either a bigger culture comes in, takes over, or there's so much mixing, everybody becomes chop suey. That's what we call it, a chop suey, right? Like in my own family, do you have like Hawaiian, Filipino, Chinese? That's the three big mix, right there. Or Hawaiian Filipino or Hawaiian Chinese. Um, that's like a big mix, especially Hawaiian Filipino. That's why sometimes when people come here, somebody say they're Hawaiian, and then like somebody like other Zinc might come here and visit, right? He's like, oh, dude, you're Hawaiian, bro. I thought Hawaiians was bigger, but when you mix, right, that's what happens, dude. The genetic code, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like then if Zinc, if you met some of my cousins, then that would the National Geographic Hawaiians, I like to call them. Brothers look like they came right out of the volcano, right? Like this dude stuff came right out the lava. Then for those tourists that want to see that, that's few and far between nowadays, but it is what it is. Unlimited Truth should be back this week. Thank you, my brother. Yeah, we need that, dude, because you know. And again, dude, I understand, dude, your situation, but again, dude, we game, man, we game. Like this is, I'm taking the time out to do this right now in the situation that I am because I can't do anything else. And then my son just left. I didn't even know he was going anywhere. So, hey, Vontae, dude, what's up, man? I saw a real dumb quote tweet like, "Oh, but if I wear a kimono, I'm gonna be wrong." And I was like, "Huh?" There's many more examples you could have used other than that one. Yeah, Vontae. And then if you notice, man, a lot of times Japanese they like that because they feel like you're taking part of their culture. I think the whole thing with Sasuke is just blown up. And I look, dude, I'm gonna be honest, dude. I blame it on the developers, man, because they were kind of nonchalant about it, dude. You know what I'm saying? Look, dude, these are your potential customers, man. Step to it. Take their thoughts and criticism. Okay? And look, and in all fairness to the Ubisoft, I very rarely give Ubi. I have look, dude. I have things with Ubisoft way beyond this. Trust me. Um, when they started to categorize people that was actually critiquing them, that should be the ones that should be able to critique them. Like if you come to Hawaii, dude, and you like when they did Moana, Disney was smart, right? When they did Moana, they didn't make it a Hawaiian thing, even though you had The Rock, the girl who's the lead is from Hawaii. She's Hawaiian, right? You had a lot of ties with the because we're Hollywood, we're an American, we're a state, right? So a lot of that stuff with the infrastructure and stuff like that just would make sense on a Hollywood scale. But when they promoted the movie, and The Rock was smart about this because The Rock knows because The Rock he's not Hawaiian. He grew up in Hawaii, but he's someone and he's African American. Right? If you guys didn't know that, some people think The Rock is Hawaiian. He's not. His dad was the man, Rocky Johnson. Straight up props, dude. Love Rocky Johnson. His dad was the man, dude. I'm a big wrestling fan, guys. So if you didn't know that about him, but he gets associated with Hawaii, but this is The Rock being The Rock, like we talked about earlier on Limited, dude. This is why The Rock he reads the room like nobody. He's arrested, dude. There's a reason why he's a WWE All Star. The Rock knows how to read the room. He can read people. So this is why he said when the movie came out, when Moana came out, he said it's South Pacific, the South Pacific. Right, so the South Pacific is this big gap that includes all. So when you watch the movie, that's so some people just assume that's Hawaiian stuff in there like that. The stuff we do, but it's Samoan, Hawaiian, Micronesian. They had all kind of stuff in there. And because of the way technology is, people when you go on YouTube, you can actually see the differences between a lot of the different cultures, even within islands that are similar to each other. Right. And then it can kind of break apart some of the stereotypes that you might see. And I'm not saying stereotypes as in bad, just stereotypes as in general, guys. You know, because like there's differences, right? Like if I, as a person who grew up in the mainland, dude, it's very different from how my family grew up here in the islands. I have a different perspective, a different thought process. I've lived here long enough to kind of assimilate into the local culture. I had a hard time, bro. I had a hard time when I first came in. But Vante, man, thanks for being here, bro. Let me know, dude. What do you think, bro? What do you think about that whole thing? I'll roll with you. Cholo culture in Japan, the Mexicans I know must be going wild here. Yeah, and it's the same thing with like how people adopt anime culture here, or like what weeaboos do, right? There's good and bad to it. Some people like it, some people don't. Like one of the kind of cool things about it is that when I look at it, there's the same thing like for like I'll just use my culture, right? Like there's Japanese have been dancing hula since the 90s. They became popular. Japanese music or Hawaiian music became popular there in the 90s, and they've kind of carried it on. But when in the 90s when they would dance hula, I mean, just honestly, if I'm being honest, I'm not being trying to be mean, but you could tell like they were learning, like it just wasn't the same. They're a little bit rigid. They would like if you're basing their hula on points, dude, they get 100% all the time, right? They would nail their sticking points 100%. It was just in the flow and the feel, the movement. There's a cultural tie to it, right? But now, dude, like I follow some of the Japanese groups that dance hula. They on point, man. They get it. And sometimes that just it takes the new culture, the new generation coming up, learning of it, the new generation. It's like with K-pop. Like K-pop is so huge, right? It's because it's mimicked. Again, dude, JYP. That's my favorite company. My favorite brand that they did the music video. The big influence is Motown. He always shouts out Motown, and it shows. Right now, I know K-pop is changing, dude. Fonte, you can probably speak that more to me. I keep up with the industry aspect of it, but I mean, I am behind the times. My kids are kind of falling off on it, so that's why I don't keep up with it as much. Um, but Vontae, man, maybe you gotta help me out on that. But yeah, dude, it's actually cool. If you got time, it's on YouTube, dude. Just Cholo culture in Japan, dude, and then you'll see it. I mean, they represent, dude. They represent, but again, it's the thing about you're not of that race, right? I don't get upset over. I don't get upset over any of this hell. Even the term woke was used by black people before it became common. Yeah, dude, that's the kind of means what it means now. Aspects of culture is always influenced. Yeah, dude, we know who we won't get racial, man, but we know what group of people stole that. But that's the first time I remember hearing it, dude. I think it was on that show, The Roots, right? Or it's like one of those shows, or it's in that that part of the universe of the culture, right? I remember that. But then it got hijacked. Again, we won't get racial in here, but I know you know, and I know you know what I know, and that we all know. But a good point, great post on it. Certain cultures and cultural things making its way over to different countries more than not is because the people in those communities share with the people of those countries. Yeah, Yeah, like a lot of people are shocked when I tell them that the favorability rating in Japan with America is like in the high 90s, or is in the, yeah, I think it's mid to high 90s now. I think it dropped down like low 90s a couple years ago. Um, but that's, yeah, it's around that, and a lot of that has to do with their own country, and how the relationship affects them personally, or monetarily, or culturally, or economically, right? Or their defense militarily. And people are surprised with that because we look at it from an aspect of gaming, right? And I'm not saying that people are wrong about what Japan gaming companies do or don't do, but people are shocked when I tell them that, because they rely on us for certain things, and they trust us is what I'm trying to get. They trust us with certain things, that they feel reassured that America will follow through, and we always have to a point, right? I actually have my own feelings about that. I think Japan should take a little bit more initiative, not for the sense of like how some people talk about it, that we're paying for this, we're doing that. I mean, more um, for their own benefit, dude. I mean, relying on us as much as they do. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? Um, I think we've been a little bit more understanding with their plight, but I think we're a little bit more open to their stuff. It's not the ending that the decade after World War II ended. They're not that same country. They're not that same imperial power. They're not the same people. And I wholeheartedly support them changing their white paper and their constitution, man, to get a more active role militarily. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you got to take care of your own backyard, dude. You just have to. But yeah, dude, 100% agree, Vontae. 100%. Unlimited production. This is why people who took progressiveness or who took progressiveness as a badge of honor annoy so many people, because a lot of it was naturally happening anyway. There was no reason to go as extreme as many has. Yeah, they couldn't wait to jump the shark, right? Unlimited, because that's how they are. Because at the end of the day, dude, if you look at how the people are, dude, they have a certain type of personality. They have a certain type of mindset, right? Like, not only do they want you to accept it, they want you to want them to know that you're accepting. They want you to let them know that you're accepting it. Right? They really want you to bend the knee at the end of the day. Not all of them, but a majority of them I dealt with, right? Because for the most part, and I've been accused of stuff where I had no opinion on it at all. That's how I know I never lose battles with these people, man, because it's all in their mind, and I realize it's all in their mind, because they'll project stuff upon you, and the sad part about it, it's just like a pony. Look, I'm sorry to get the council word thing, but it's a pony, right? It's a pony. A lot of the stuff they say, either they company do or they do. They project, and that's what a lot of these guys do. At least the crazy ones, which is most of them, in my opinion, my experience. Um, yeah, they go, instead of letting it happen. Again, I like to use the term organically in the proper way. Right? Instead of them letting, they just can't do it, dude, because it's a power and control thing as well. That's what's happening in government right now. With a lot of stuff people doing, because a lot of you are looking at stuff and like, oh, are they really that stupid? No, they want to have that control. Our political system, this is the closest, in my opinion. This is the closest I've seen our political system to mimic that of England's from back in the day, or any other country that has a feudal or caste system. Because you basically have all these people that have divvied up their fiefdoms, right? These guys are not elected, right? They're appointed. These are like they're like the barons and the dukes and the lords of old, man. This is what you're dealing with. That's why a lot of you guys are scratching your head and wondering why FTC does what they do, man. Right? Because if it worked the way it's supposed to work, we wouldn't be having this. We wouldn't have had 2 years and thousands of people making videos about that topic that should not even been an issue. I will die on this hill. Most of them are performative and fake anyway. Yeah, yeah. I tend to be able to discern between the guys that are that way and the guys who are true believers. Because being a person of faith, dude, it's easy to see the hallmarks of somebody who's a believer in this kind of stuff, right? And as Christians, right? I'll go on a limb here. I'm pretty sure you're a Christian, like I am, right? We're taught to always put ourselves under the microscope first, right? Because for a Christian, the most important relationship is a personal relationship with God, with Jesus as your Lord and Savior, and with God as the God of everything, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, you have to keep yourself constantly in check. I'm not saying you're not going to slip up. You're not going to have a bad opinion. You're not going to take it to the extreme at sometimes. But if if you're constantly holding yourself to that standard, like what you did in the '70s with the bands, right? What would Jesus do? Kind of thing, right? It always comes back to you. Yep, the finger always points to you before it should be pointing to anybody else. I'm not saying you can't get passionate or have an opinion, guys. You can. And I've had Christian brothers call me out on some of the stuff I said. I just watched the guy talk about it, the whole thing that went on with Trump getting assassinated, and there's people being strong about it. And this dude was like, he used the verse talking about the tongue. And I caught myself. Like, I was feeling a certain way. I was going to go out there and, start saying certain things. And God, that's how God works, right? It's just this video popped up, and I was looking for something to listen to because none of the Xbox guys, Unlimited Productions, is doing videos as much. So I'm searching for stuff to watch, and then it pops up on my feed. I click on it, I'm like, the tongue. And it was exactly what I needed, man, because I could have gone out there and acted a fool. Then I would have to apologize because things I would have said or my opinions, or it was emotionally driven. And when everything's emotionally driven, man, you put yourself out there, and then it could have been damaging to the cause of Christ. And that's what I do. And it was straight on point, dude. The guy was just like, look, dude, there's a lot of people saying stuff. Remember what the Bible says about the tongue, dude. It's wicked, sharper than any two-edged sword, right? And this is why there's a lot of problems and strife in the world because of the way people speak and how vitriolic that can be. And that made me pause. That made me pause, dude. That made me pause. And I was like, okay, just pray and say, thank you, God. Thank you for that. I got it. Right? Because that's how you avoid a lot of heartaches and stuff. Anyway, not to get on this podcast is going all bitch. I just want to let you guys know, man. That's just the limit. Yep, I'm a Christian. Yeah, man. I figured, man, because you listen to what's his name, man, dude, Bodie Bacham. Dude, if you listen to him, dude, I know you rock. I know you rock the brotherhood, dude. That dude is no joke. And a lot of people need to listen to him, dude. The way he breaks things down is amazing. Bodie Bacham, jeez. Funny enough, I've been accused by both sides before my opinions when all I try to do is get the rational, common sense, faith-based logic behind it. But that's how you know you're in the that should make you assured that you should wear that with a badge of honor, um, uh, brother, right? Because you are looking at it from a rational, common sense, fact-based logic behind things. And then, of course, we fall back on the faith, where we just got to accept things as the way they are. But it's always a humbling experience, right? It's always a humbling thing. I was humbled, dude. When I watched that video, I was humbled. Man. Humbled by the fact that, I was given that message at that time, which I needed, right? So you feel a certain way about that, and you're like, yeah, dude, you never far afield from what, if you're a child of God, if you're a son of God, that made me feel good. And that actually lightened my mood. And then as the week went on, dude, and then the temperature dropped down, and I was able to open my mind and my ears to people that was talking about it in a more sensible way, like you just said, logically, right, rationally, and spiritually as well, dude. Man. I mean, if I was in my mindset, dude, I wouldn't have been even picked up on that. And we need that, dude. That's why it's good, man. It's good. Steel sharpens steel, man. We always need that. Bodie. Yeah, I see. I watch it. Typos, yeah, bro. Bodie made the best sermon on modern society I've ever seen. Is too good. Yeah, and he broke down all this stuff, dude. I watched speaking of right, I watched this pastor give. I guess he was on Dr. Phil, and he talked about. He gave us such a succinct thing on DEI. Because at the end of the day, for any Christian, and I'm not saying like some of y'all, I know you ain't Christian. I'm just speaking on like for me and Unlimited, and Unlimited can speak for himself in the chat. As a Christian, man, that's what it always boils down to, man. It's that eternal. Right, that internal, and then everything, the finger always points back to God. It's one of the things that makes Christianity so simple, but also makes it hard because there is no wiggle room. Again, guys, I know a lot of you guys, I've been sharing some stuff about the book of Enoch, and we've been talking about stuff. I just find it interesting, right? But at the end of the day, dude, it is the gospel message that Christians should focus on, right? The level at which people are talking about it, I mean, you have to look at it. You have to read the room, right, with a lot of this stuff. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to the gospel because, when everything is said and done, dude, you either, with Jesus or you're not. That's the gospel message. You're either there or you're not, and there's consequences to that. Yeah, I love him. Yeah, dude, he always, dude. It's spiritual. It's God focused. It's God based or biblical based, right? And it makes sense. It's focused. Um, and it's caring, dude. When he talks, dude, you know he cares about you. I think sometimes some pastors nowadays they lose that focus, dude. Like anybody who's ever liked him that's converted because of his message, of course, honor and glory to God. That's who actually does the work. We just spread the message. I'm not saying, but I mean that people were able to respond because of his personality. And look, and some people respond to the fiery thing as well. I like Paul Walker, not Paul Walker, Paul Washer. One of his sermons woke me up one time. Man. I was off on doing my own thing, and then I watched the sermon with him, something I needed at the time, and I stirred up the fire and the emotion because that's how I was raised. But everybody's different. Tool man. Oh, I'm a Christian as well, deacon in our church. Hey, Tool man, right on, bro. God bless you, brother. We need good, strong deacons, man, especially in our society today, man. We need that. That's dude. My grandmother raised me, man. In my formidable years, man, it was the deacons and the men of the church that helped me, man, with the simple things of life. Because my grandmother being a woman, right? There's certain things she couldn't talk to me about, and the deacons filled that role. My principal filled that role. Youth director filled that role. My pastor filled that role most definitely, and of course everything from the school I went to the church I went to was everything was Bible based, Christian fundamental, um, and that's an important thing to bro. So God bless you, brother. Deacons are much needed. There's a man I work with right now, my brother James. Man, he's a good man, dude. Deacon in his church, and he's a staunch Christian dude. Like, and I'm talking about just not with spiritual things, man. But anytime people needs it, like he is a man of service. He puts himself out there, dude. He's very dependable, man. It made me realize in my own life, dude, like word is bond, man. You tell somebody something, dude, you gotta live up to that. And that dude is that's how godly strong he is, dude. Deacons are the church is a facet, dude. The church is needed, man. I think that's why sometimes we lose a little bit. Stuff gets lost in translation, man. And then you have Christians that are strong nowadays, you know. Not judging them, dude. We got to bring them back into the fold. Right? Hold the whole churches accountable when they're doing that. But of course, dude, the head of the church is God. And God does not they don't let his sheep go straight. Right? Jesus is the shepherd, so we don't have to worry about that. Dude has me remembering I need to crack open that Bible. I tell others all the team ready for yourself. First, don't base your beliefs off anyone else, even those we trust and love. Yeah, dude, it is important. I tell people unlimited, man, because sometimes they feel like it's like some kind of duty or it's something that's to be bemoaned. And I'm like, no, dude, it's a relationship, dude. You gotta know God, right? How are you gonna? And the one thing my pastor used one time, and I love to use it, is like, dude, it's like being married to your woman, married to your wife, and you guys don't talk. I know some marriages might be like that. I'm just saying, but what happens to marriages like that? Right? They don't last long, dude. You gotta know your God. You gotta know your Savior, and you gotta understand the role of the Holy Spirit as a Christian. Man. A lot of people don't know that stuff. And I'm in the same boat I'm gonna do. I'm not putting myself up, bro. Trust me, man. I know, and I'm even worse, man. I know, and I let myself fall astray. So, of course, we can take others into consideration, but our relationship needs to be personal. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, exactly. So I tell my kids, like my kids one time, I did something like they're like, Dad. And I was telling the church or something, but Dad, you did this. I was like, yeah, I'm wrong. Okay, I asked for forgiveness. I apologize to you guys. I lost my temper when I was driving. But then they were kind of like trying to use it to kind of, I see what they was doing. They're trying to wiggle that in there, to maybe use that later on as an excuse. I put them, I shut them down straight. I was like, look, dude, I will answer to God about that, but so will you, dude. You can't stand before God and tell him, well, so and so did this, so and so did that. What did you do? You why did you do this? Why did you get upset? Why did you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's all that's important. That's what a lot of people don't understand. I saw a video. A woman said she was a good Christian for 25 years, but didn't read the Bible and lost her faith after reading that's a bad Christian. Yeah, yeah. You just, I hate to use the verse, but we have to use it, dude. They went away from us because they wasn't of us. Right? When you hear something like that, then for 25 years, it was not. You know, maybe God will bring somebody in their life where they show them what's really up, and or maybe they can receive the gospel as it's supposed to be, as is intended. I see people do that all the time because and then a lot of times it's an emotional connection, right? Like they have God on the backseat. Um, it's like a motivational tool, like a new age thing almost, right? Like it gives them that uplift. You see that a lot of times. Like you see that in the ministry of the music right now. Right? You see a lot of people they go there and it's uplifting them, right? It gives them that boost, man. But it's not. It's like if you it's like if you go to the gym, man, and you take an energy drink to help you get over the boom, to boost you for the workout, and then you break through that wall, you get over that hump. You was going for 315, 10, 8 times, you hit 10. It's a good feeling, right? But it's what you do after that, right? There's more to it than that, right? Your nutrition, your sleep, all that stuff. And Christian life is no different, man. It's that's just one facet of it. And then of course we all know the music and the praise, man. It should be glorifying God, as it says in the Bible. How the angels glorify Him. Like, it's not about you, right? It's about God. So if you're singing songs and stuff, and it feels a little bit too good, a little bit too worldly, dude, yeah, you might check yourself a little bit, dude. And that's the relationship, right? That's the constant checking of yourself. That's why I mean, that's why some people, it's hard for them too, man. But you got to do it. You got to. And we have to uplift and strengthen our brethren, right? Of course. But you need to end the show, man. Our show means that just I know, brother. I know, dude. Once we start going down that road, but I'm glad 2 man, dude. 2 man, it's good to know, man. I'll pray for you, brother. Yeah, I should be praying for all of y'all anyway. That's my fault. My grandfather literally built the church I grew up in. Yeah, my grandmother, bro. My grandmother was hardcore. I think I shared that with you, man. Remember one time I put a book on the Bible, dude, just not thinking. And I got that backhand like out of nowhere, dude. Just like, you don't put anything on the Bible. What's wrong with you? Like that type of thing. Like you get whoopings in church. That kind of that level of when adults was talking, you just kept your trap shut. If you wasn't where you're supposed to be in the church, if it's Sunday school and you're in there, you get tore up. And you make them look. You make any of your family look like any adult look bad. I mean, I'm talking about either your grandmother or my mom and dad or anything like that, dude. You just get destroyed. You look straight ahead. You didn't fidget, dude. You didn't say a word. You just sat there. I think that's how we learn patience. You had no choice, dude, because there was consequences to that actions. The world today needs prayer, and the world today and every day. Yeah, brother. Amen. 100%, dude. 100%. Pray every day, dude, just to stay in that in the zone. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. Yeah, I'll wrap it up right now, dude. Seriously, I gotta go. But dude, look, and look, dude. For me, man, if we're gonna continue with the word of God, we'll still talk. But I think everybody said their piece. Thank you, guys, man. Got a little bit more insight into the chat, into the brotherhood, and yeah, it feels like a true brotherhood too. So at the end of the day, guys, just enjoy your games. I think I'll go play some right now. Well, I'm gonna go eat lunch. But Unlimited, thank you for being here. Tollman, thank you for being here, dude. I wish you could have joined Unlimited, but I understand. Shinzo, man, thank you, bro. Thank you for participating. Daniel, man, I always love having you on the podcast, bro. When I do the online cast, or let me know if you want to jump in, dude. We'll talk about it. No worries. All right, guys. Xbox On channel, host taking forever. We out.